No. It's Jesus. Hello, Jesus. Bye.
I was so sure of our love. I never thought of any reason, a doubt about us. And now I'm right back at the start. Halfway through a bottle, baby, and nothing's enough.
You guys probably know me already. Hello, hi, maybe, probably not. This is Ryan. You probably saw him in another video of mine. If you haven't, hello Ryan.
Hello.
We're gonna talk about Jesus. More specifically, atheism and all that stuff. First things first, why we're atheists, for me at least, has to do a lot with family background. You don't start really making your own decisions until you're, I don't know what, maybe like 14, 15. Before then, it's really all about like what you see around you, your family, sisters, brothers, parents. And for me, it's never really been like about religion. Nobody in my family is like crazy religious. Also, it has to do, I guess, with my love for science and the whole theory of evolution. A lot of religious people, from what I've seen, shut down the theory of evolution. And also there's a bunch of other personal reasons, more to do with faith and all of that, but that's too sappy and weird, so I'm not gonna talk about that.
Well, I'm an atheist because I like to live in the observable world. I'm very strong on see it to believe it. I've read some of the Bible and it's very anti-family and anti-love and very pro-war, racism, sexism, murder, incest and stuff like that, so I'm not very attracted to that.
Or your brother or sister.
So yeah, I really needed proof to believe something and there's just no proof right now. I'm not against the possibility of a God because if proof comes along later, I'll easily change my mind, but right now, nothing to believe in.
So another thing is atheism versus someone who is agnostic. Before you explained to me really what it was, and before I did research after that, I thought it was basically someone without a religion, someone who was never baptized, someone who just doesn't believe and was never really open to that, never really cared to think about like atheism or God or anything. And then you explained to me that that's not the case.
Yeah, agnostic used to be a weasel word, really, to it was a different question, really. Agnostics answer the question, is there a God? And atheists answer the question, do you believe in God? So if you say I don't know, you're an agnostic. But if you say I don't know to that question, you're also saying no, because you can't believe in something if you don't know it's there, because you have to have that amount of faith to believe in something. Huxley used it when he was Darwin's bulldog. Huxley would go out and speak for him, and to avoid confrontation, he would use the word agnostic, just like to sort of like make it easier for them. But yeah, it's a different question, but all agnostics are atheists.
I mean, I get it, but they're atheists. It's whatever. Like, just, I mean, you don't want to.
Well, like I said, it's a different question. But people they like to say I'm an agnostic instead of an atheist because they don't want to, commit to it. I guess they don't want to be like there is no God. They would rather say I don't know if there's a God.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if there's a God. You don't know if there's a God. Nobody knows if there's a God because there hasn't been any proof of it.
So what makes us different? Why do we say, yeah, there is no God, if we don't technically know if there is or not?
Because the evidence we're given, we've arrived at our conclusion of no. But some people, they don't arrive to that conclusion. They see both arguments and they draw it down the middle and they say, I don't know. But as soon as you say, I don't know, your answer to do you believe in God is no.
Something that my mom always throws at me when I ask her if she believes in God or not, she always tells me, I'll answer that question when you tell me what came first, the chicken or the egg. And like we talked about before, it wasn't that or that. It evolved from something else, from as in like evolution and all of that. So I guess I've tried to tell her that, but people who are still like in that space won't say yes or no. One of my favorite things to like talk about is that religion is taught. In some cases, some kids are not given an option from a young age to either believe or disbelieve in God. You don't pop out of your mother's vagina preaching about Jesus. Yes, I get that you want to pass it down to your kids. You believe in that, so you want to pass it down, but it's your belief. And your kids they're not you. They're a completely different person, and even even though you might have things in common with your kids, you're here to guide them, to help them, but you're not here to control their beliefs. So, I mean, you can teach them about God. Like, I'm not telling anybody what to do, but I feel like people should be open to other things that's not just religion.
Yeah, religion is taught. There's no way around that. It's fact. Like, nobody is born with a belief system. Nobody is born with knowledge of anything because you're a baby. And forget the entirety of the quote, but like the idea of it is, if you erased all of knowledge, all of information that we have, everything will be rediscovered. It might have a different name, but everything will be discovered. Like water will be discovered again. Everything will be discovered, but a new religion would happen. It wouldn't be the same story. Everything that we have, if we erased it all, eventually would come back to this, because that's how human advancement works. If you erase all of religion, new stories would pop up. It would be a different God, different story, different everything, because that's what it is. It's a story, and without the original storyteller, you can't really create a theology.
Like, whatever you're doing, I guess, in a sense, like from a young age, you're only doing it because that's what you've been taught. That's like what people told you. You don't really make any decisions for yourself. You're just saying like, this is what I have to do because this is God's plan.
In the Bible, morality is taught as, if you do something good, you'll go to heaven. If you do something bad, you go to hell. But that's not really morality, because if you're doing anything for risk or reward, it's not moral. You're doing it for something. But if you do it just to be a good person, then that's morality. Like, I read, it was Every Day is an Atheist Holiday by Penn Jillette, and in there he talks about how his son accidentally bit himself when he was teething or something, when he was like a really young kid. And so he got up and he said no biting, went to the corner. After a few minutes, he said, okay, timeout's over, and he went back to playing. So Penn Jillette described it as his son was his own arresting officer, judge, jury, parole board, and everything. He was victim, he was the perpetrator, he was everything, and he on his own figured out don't bite by biting himself. Like, he realized don't do bad things, and he didn't need fear of being punished to do it.
So you're saying that's good, like he figured out on his own.
If you treat people nicely by yourself and you don't treat people badly, then that's good. But if you treat people nicely because you want something, you want to go to heaven, then you're not doing it because you want to be nice, you're doing it because you want to go to heaven.
Yeah, it's basically like in anything, like a job, you did something because, not because like it was good or whatever, but because you wanted to get a higher position or something like that. It's basically the same thing. Okay, so another topic is that I find really cool, to be honest, the whole life after death thing. There is none. Like, you don't go into like some other place where you're waiting for your loved ones or something like that. You just die. The whole trippy thing that I find trippy is the fact that we just shut off. It's crazy to think about that we're just gone. I mean, it would suck if we're just completely gone. Like, what if there is something that happens?
But there's nothing really to be concerned about, because like, I'm not afraid of the 1920s.
Yeah.
So I'm not afraid of the 2220s. Because it didn't concern me back then, it's not going to concern me in the future. I'm gone. Maybe people will remember me. After a while, I'll be a photograph, I'll be a story that nobody met me anymore. Like, there's nobody alive who has known me. So it really doesn't matter. As long as you do as much good while you're alive and you treat people nicely and you live as happy of life as you can, life is what you should be like really concerned with, not death.
I mean, obviously, like the whole live in the moment thing, while you're here. And I mean, we're 18, 19, so by the time we're dead, it's gonna be like, what, 20, 90 something, maybe?
Maybe I'm gonna live up to 90, 100 years old, are you kidding me?
Okay, roughly around there, 2090, 2080 something. Like that's a while. 2017, that's a long time. One day soon, we're dead, we're gone. Like, the greatest minds in the world just vanish. And I mean, we still have some ideas from like the greatest people that lived.
And that's what they did during their lifetime.
Yeah.
They brought ideas, they've created stuff, and that's gonna be here forever. And they don't need to be here for that.
There will be other people in like our time and the time after our time will create everything, but I mean, like, it'll be cool to just pop in after we die, like, hey, what's going on?
I mean, as cool as it would be to be a ghost, as far as I'm concerned, there isn't anything after. Like, I would want to be a ghost.
You would want to be a ghost?
I would want to be a ghost, just wandering around doing whatever, but ghosts are real, so that's
Seeing girls naked?
Yeah, basically.
Ghosts are real. Okay, so last question, preaching about God and going around and all that. So, okay.
You start because you're going to talk longer. Okay, proselytizing or preaching. I think it's a good thing, because if you want someone to go to heaven and you want someone to like live the life that you think would be best for them, then I think that's a very nice thing to do. If you tell someone that you hope they burn in hell and that they shouldn't join your religion and you would rather them die and burn forever, if you think heaven is real, and you think hell is real, and you think hell is the worst place that you can go, and you wish that upon someone, you're an asshole. Like, that's just plain and simple. If you want someone to go to heaven, even if it's racist, sexist, homophobic, or whatever, the way you say it, there is a part of you that's doing it because you want the best for them. So in a way, it is good. It is somewhat moral because you're not doing it for yourself, you're doing it for someone else. I mean, it's annoying. I hate it, but I love it, you know? Like, my parents, they're always like, you know, they hope I turn around someday or something like that. And, you know, I think that's the most loving thing they could do considering the situation.
We've talked about this before, and I guess I don't see it that way because I've had people say that to me. One of those people where my grandma is my grandma, she still says that to me. I see it that way because it is that way. She says it to me because she thinks what I'm doing is wrong and she doesn't like it. So she says she thinks that I won't be okay and I'm not okay, I'm not good if I don't switch over to religion. If I don't start believing in God, I'll never be happy. I don't see it that way. I don't see it as I'll never be happy if I don't find God. Like, I wouldn't really care if someone says, like, I hope you'll end up in hell, because I don't believe in hell. So I'm just like, I won't end up there. I mean, maybe. You can't end up in a place that isn't real. And to them it is. I see that it is. Like, to them it is.
But the thing is, I know I'm not going to go to hell if someone tells me that, but I still think it's like a very hateful thing to say, considering to them that's the worst thing that they could say.
Yeah, but like...
It's like telling, like, a pregnant woman you hope she has, like, a miscarriage. Like, that's like the most horrible thing you can say to that person in that time because of the situation. But like, even though we don't believe in it, like, we know we're not going to go to hell because hell's not real, it's still like really fucked up to tell someone that.
I guess. And like, by the same time, when someone who's homophobic tells me something like that, something homophobic, and I'm just like, you know what, that's your opinion. Like, I don't care for your opinion because you're being an asshole, so it's not going to change my view on things. It's not going to change who I am, so you can just suck it. And like, I see it, like, I understand, like, it's a nice thing to do, but for me it's like, whatever, say it, don't say it, say something bad, I'm just gonna ignore it because it's something bad. If you're telling me that you hope I end up in hell, why am I even talking to you? You know, like, I don't care for your opinion. Alright, so we're done. That's it. No one talking about Jesus. I'm not yet, so I'm just like hate from this. I'm religious, folks. Care. Yeah, whatever. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and check out more. If you like those, go ahead and subscribe. All of that fun stuff. This is the last you will be seeing of Ryan. He's moving back to Florida. All his stuff will be linked down below. He has a YouTube channel as well. And yeah, that's it.
Don't be an asshole. Be a castle.
No, be an asshole. Peace out, Girl Scout, Boy Scout, whatever you are, Scout, Jesus. Free Scout. I'll see you guys next time.
Take it easy.
Ow, that hurt. It still hurts. The web, like, if I pull my tongue a weird way, it hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're saying that like you know what I'm talking about.
No, I'm assuming, like, if you put metal in your mouth and you just go, ugh, you stretch it out, it's gonna hurt. What are you doing?
Assuming it's your... Yay, it's focused, Ryan.
Yay.
Hello. Why are your eyes closed, huh? Huh? Why are you laughing? It's gonna hurt. Ew. My phone's gonna eat my vagina.